How to make money buying and selling websites. The Digital Flipper's Ultimate Guide. Think about this. Websites are the real estate of the digital world and as such hold value in the eyes of consumers, organizations, and investors worldwide. Learn how to make money flipping websites and understand why some people, instead of investing in houses, buy and sell online platforms as a business investment. Check out the ins and outs as well as the do and don'ts of the ultimate side business that could give you a leg up earning an income online. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous, if you were to ask me. I hope you are doing as great. And if you are, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. Today I want to talk to you about one of my favorite topics, and the whole team spent a lot of hours, a lot of days researching this topic: how to flip websites, how to be a great digital flipper. Number one, set a budget. You have to understand that your budget is a function of 5 key factors: the money you have, the resources you're going to spend in researching and bidding for websites, the time you have to spend on it, the risk profile, whether you are risk averse or a risk taker, and the last one is your motivation. Now, before you think about buying a website, you want to think about how much time and money you can afford to invest and lose, because sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, right? Because buying a website brings risks. So you want to spend, when it comes to investments, you want to spend only what you can afford to lose. There are no guaranteed investments, no matter how attractive the website may seem. Speaking of which, let me quickly give you a disclaimer here. We're not providing an investment advice. We're just giving you the fruit of our research, the results of our research. This is FYI. Everybody's situation is different. You are on your own. You have to analyze what works for you, what doesn't work for you, right? We're just bringing the info here. So once you have a budget in mind, think about how much time you have to work on your new sites. If you find a website that's already passively making money, you don't need to take too much actions or make that many changes, but you still want to identify areas for improvement and implement the changes to increase the return on investment you get from a sale. Number 2, you want to find the right niches. Now, when it comes to the internet, not all niches are created equal. The word niche may sound a little fancy, but it just means a target audience or a target market or a sector, right? Some people pronounce it niche or niche. It doesn't really matter, but you need to find the right niches. When looking for sites to purchase, you want to pay attention to niches that have something called evergreen content. Evergreen content means that content that will remain useful and popular over the long term. Think about things like health and wellness, money and finances, sports and hobbies, relationships and personal growth, food and recipes, small businesses, e-commerce, education, right? So those are pretty good. Those are pretty good evergreen content websites, because you know how to lose weight, 10 tips to lose weight. This topic is as relevant today as it was 100 years ago. Or relationship and personal growth. This topic, or this category, anything you put on, if the content is great, if the content is impeccable, excellent, the content will be relevant today as it will be 20 years from now, 30 years from now. So that's evergreen content, and that's the kind of content you want to go after when you're thinking about flipping websites. Right now, remember that the above niches that I just gave you, they can expand out into multiple sub niches as well. So just don't think about the broad topic like health or finance. You can think about things like, you can think about subtopics, right? It could be fitness for people over 20 years old, or investing tips for folks over 50. So specialized niches are more useful and relevant to a subset of consumers and have less competition than websites covering broad topics, which can lead to a more loyal readership. Third step here, find websites to buy. So the first thing is you need to think about budget, right? You set a budget. Number two, find the right niches. Number three, now find websites to buy. So when identifying websites that are worth buying, consider a few key metrics. How much revenue the website generates? Does it have an upside potential? How consistent are the earnings, right? Because you don't want to have anything seasonal. I mean, you if you're comfortable with that, then go ahead, then go with it. Is it constant? Is it cyclical? Is it seasonal? Are there spikes and dips here and there? Whether the income is generally passive, right? In other words, is it based on ads or just through subscriptions or through other types of sponsoring, whatever it is? So you want to think about those things. Now, one thing you have to do is you want to expect to pay a multiple of the monthly or yearly income the site brings in now, because the current owner might be is giving up future earnings. So the price has to be worth it. On average, in the last 5 years, we've seen that digital flippers pay somewhere between 18 to 25 times multiple of the monthly income. So for example, let's say you have a site that generates $1,000 every month. The owner might ask you to drop 25 grand or 30 grand. All right. Now, if you're willing to take on more risk and do more work, there are sites that won't charge as much. If a website is newer and thus doesn't have the proven staying power of a site that's been a long-term consistent earner, you can likely pay less. You can also, once you have the budget and the niches, and you have an idea of how much you can pay for it, there are some platforms where you can find websites to buy. You have things like Flippa, Biz Buy Sell, you have Website Broker, you have an Empire Flippers, you have We Sell Your Sites, and there are many, many more. You can Google them and basically go with the most reputable one. One thing that's very important is to always read the reviews. You want to read the reviews before choosing a platform where to buy ads. Not to buy ads, where to buy websites. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We're still having a conversation today around how to make money buying and selling websites. Number 4, gather some intelligence. You want to do your due diligence. Once you found a website that you like, you want to do some due diligence. And this means you want to determine why they're selling the sites, right? Has it been flagged by Google? You want to look for proof of revenue and traffic. So you don't want to rely on the statistics that the website owner is sending you. No, you can verify traffic levels with Google Analytics and other tools. Do you trust the seller? Because some sites have user profiles with feedback, ratings, and more, and you can check those. You want to examine the link profile, right? Are those links purchased or are they white hat links? Does the site relies on SEO? Can you keep both the link quantity and quality up? So another thing you want to do is try to be personal. Get personal with the seller. You want to speak to the person. Now, if it's not possible to meet them, that's okay. Have a video call. See the person. Ask them questions. You want to ask them particular questions, and you want to evaluate things like traffic and income reports, because many of the platforms highlighted above that I said earlier, they offer broker services that can help you evaluate the site. Some also thoroughly vet every site before they even list it, so you can be sure it's high quality. I would say personally, based on the research we've seen, that it's just better to hire a broker. It's better to pay $200 if you're about to spend 25 grand on a deal, or 30 grand on a transaction, it's worth it to spend $200 to hire a broker who can lend credibility, who can lend quality to the whole process. After gathering some intel, make an offer. If you love a site and you've done the proper background check, just make an offer. Now, some website listing will have already a price listed. If this is the case, you can start, with a lower offer. Don't lowball though. You want to show that you're interested. You want to show that you are serious, but you also want to show that you want to buy something at a good price. So you can always start at 70% of the asking price, because that way you have some wiggle room, especially if there are some negative things you were able to uncover about the site. So 70% to 75% of the asking price is a good way to go. If no price is listed, use what you learned in the last stage to come up with an amount to offer. In terms of gathering intel. Number 6, revamp the website. Once you've purchased the website and everything has been transferred to your name, it's time to get to work, and you want to make it more valuable. Remember, this thing is kind of similar. This approach is analogous to real estate flipping, right? When you buy a house, you just pimp it up, you renovate it, you redesign it, and you want to increase the value. Same thing when it comes to a digital asset, because that's what a website is, right? After buying it, you transfer under your name and you make it more valuable. You want to grow your monthly profit as high as possible and this means that you'll improve the content strategy and SEO to rank for more keywords and improve the traffic. You want to explore affiliate opportunities. You want to negotiate better deals. You want to increase your investment in things like social media and paid advertising to further grow revenue. You want to create and nurture an active email list, right? So overall, you should try to optimize the traffic and income as much as possible. I will be right back, but after this, don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. I'm very happy to have you today. We're still having a conversation about how to make money buying and selling websites. This is the Digital Flippers Guide. Now, I've given you so far all the info about buying a website. Now, let's talk about selling the website, right? So if you love the clarity and the content quality so far, please subscribe to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you are informed in real time whenever we release the new show. And we do this every single day on beautiful topics such as this one. Rain or shine, every single day, rain or shine. Comment below, share and like this content. Next, you want to appraise your website. Once you buy the website and you've done a little bit of work to make it more valuable, you have pimped it up, you want to identify how much the website is worth. We want to do the math to figure out what the website is now worth. Now, what's really interesting is that figuring out how much your website is worth is not that different from what you did back when you were deciding how much to pay for it. Because right now you just will be on the other side. You'll be selling it, not buying it. So the same metrics will still matter. So you want to think about your current traffic and any increases since you've been in charge, how much revenue the site makes now and how consistent it is, how much revenue streams there are and how likely they are to continue, how big is your email list and social followings, right? Because loyal followers are more valuable than one-time visitors, how much work the website will require to stay at the current level of profitability, the value of the domain name, right? Because if this incorporates a popular keyword, that makes it more valuable to relevant buyers. And, so if you're happy with the number you come up with and confident you can make a solid case to a buyer, then you're ready to sell. Now, how do you find a buyer? There are two ways to find a buyer. You can use a website marketplace. Again, the same ones that I gave you earlier. So you're just listing the website on those platforms. So that's We Sell Your Sites, Flippa, Base Buy Sell, Website Broker, Empire Flippers, FE International, or other platforms you can come up yourself while Googling the keyword website buys and sells. So that's the one part. Use a website marketplace. Another part is to use a broker. We've done research and we found that it's a lot more effective to hire a broker. Now, some brokers actually will charge you a commission, right? As we have in a regular in the real estate industry, you pay 5-6%, 3% of the sale price, but it is worth it. It is really worth it because the broker takes care of everything, right? So the broker will do the due diligence, will basically post the website on all website properties, will basically talk to, if they have a catalog of potential buyers, they will propose that to the buyers, all right? And they can also discern the kind of buyers who are most likely to want your website and be able to afford it, and they will find them for you. So you basically outsourcing all the work to them. So that's really great. Number 9, you want to close the deal. Once you found someone who wants the site or they found you, it's time to get down to the business details, right? You want to figure out a price you both agree on, because they will also start with a lower price because the same technique that you chose, that you used while trying to buy the property, the website, they will use the same strategy with you when they're trying to buy it from you, right? So you need to bargain and find a win-win price, right? Now, if you're not able to do that, if you're not able to work out the terms of the sale properly, but the person is still interested, you can reach out to a broker. The broker can help you with the negotiations and all the proper paperwork. If not, we would strongly advise you to consider getting a lawyer to help make sure you do everything right in this stage. When accepting payments, use an escrow service. This is great because it allows you to avoid scammers and provide confidence in the seller that you're not a scammer yourself. Because most of the marketplaces have built-in escrow services, but if you're selling on the site on your own, it can be helpful to use a third-party service. All right, I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Kiwi. We just want to finish today's conversation. So if you, after closing the deal, you want to make the transfer. Now, a broker can help you with this. But if you're doing this on your own, reach out to your web hosting provider to make sure you take the proper technical steps to transfer your website to the new owner. They'll need access to your web hosting accounts, the domain name, and any CMS, client management system, or website builder you use. And all of the assets that make up the website will need to be moved to the buyer's name. All right. This is it, folks. I really appreciate you sticking with us so far. And let me quickly just recap today's conversation. How to make money buying and selling websites, the Digital Flippers Guide. Here are the 10 steps. Set a budget. Find the right niches. Find websites to buy. Gather some intel. Make an offer. Revamp the website. Appraise the website. Find your buyer. Close the deal and make the transfer. Now, I want to give you a pro tip here when it comes to increasing your website value, because if you buy a website, you want to flip it over and you need to increase the platform's value before. There are several ways you can do that. You want to focus on lead generation. We have an entire show dedicated, committed or covering lead generation. But lead generation is important because you can increase your overall website value by improving the system by which your website generates leads. The key here is you want to increase your website lead generation value by enhancing your website ability to identify a visitor pool that can be acquired for a defined cost, right? You also want to think about the domain name. Now, think of your website in terms of constructing a building. Before you start building, you need to purchase land, right? So even if you don't build anything on that land, it still has value. So make sure you have a valuable domain name. The shorter, the better, right? The number of words in the domain, fewer words are more valuable. If it's hard to read, type, or remember, it's worth less. You also want to think about something called TLD, top level domain, right? Things like .com, .org, .edu. Remember that .com extensions hold the most value across the board. You also want to think about inbound links and the website revenue. So revenue that you can generate from e-commerce by selling products or services from the website, Google AdSense or Google Ad Networking marketing, subscription access, affiliate marketing, and lead generation, as I said earlier. All right, folks, this is it for today. I really appreciate your attention so far. I will see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.